Okay, this is a follow-up video for my original provisional application. The video taken just following my provisional application for the Earth Synergetics floating limb compound. It has a name now. It's the Earth Synergetics Underdog-FLC. There's a few things I have to correct from the original video. Obviously it's much more refined at this point. I assembled mathematical models to digest the dynamics of the bow and got it shrunk down to 13.5 axle to axle. For the base model is I'm going to scale it out in the two-dimensional vertical plane. No plans for a crossbow at this point, though that may change at some point, but I really don't, that's making the bow more space consuming, and it's a tree saucer bow. This is designed as the bow for the Earth Synergetics tree saucer dweller, though I will sell them to someone who does not buy a tree saucer. Though no one will be allowed to purchase or own or be in possession of one of these bows unless they are a person with one child or fewer. And I gotta do it like that because Earth Synergetics, as you know, I'm the author of the GNO 0.5 LP. And the thing is, there's just, Earth Synergetics is about composure. Okay, it's not about extremes. It's about it's about integration with Earth's living systems. Okay, because we do exist in an artificial prosperity created by mining the means to future prosperity, to uphold this artificial prosperity that we exist in. And this is a condition that we create, which is it's the condition under which humans tend to breed to excess. Now, what is the exponent in the population curve? Okay, well, the thing is, when I've been in VMIT for 8 years. Actually, I'm outside of VMIT now. I am completely outside of it. I was, I spent a lot of time like brainstorming with people in VMIT, and you feel like it's a choice you're making in your head, okay, but and we all do. Everyone that comes to VMIT is like, this is a choice I'm making in my head, but then you realize that it's due to conditions, okay, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, okay, I'm actually being forced into this decision. And it's not a decision because I'm being forced, or I'm not being allowed the other decision. I can't ethically choose biological parenthood due to the effects of people who breed to excess within an artificial prosperity where they are not responding to biological system stress. Okay, now why aren't they responding to biological system stress? It's, same thing with the exponent in the population curve. Okay, the people that do respond to biological system stress have been dropping out of the gene pool since the dawn of agriculture. Okay, now the problem with saying something like that is if we get into some, eugenics type thing, it's not going to be good, because we need time to think about it. Okay, because there's going to be backflux. Me just saying that, okay, is going to cause a consciousness shift, okay, where people that are prone to breed to excess will mimic that behavior. Okay, so it's something that needs to be, addressed in the sense that we're going to find resolve a lot faster if we simply acknowledge, okay, that human rights are being violated, okay, by the and perpetrated by the creation of humans with rights. So it's a very sticky issue. There's parents, they find themselves locked in this guilt thing, and the first thing they do is they grab their kid and use them for a human shield. They say, you're saying my kid shouldn't exist, and I'm saying no, my human rights are being violated people like me, okay, who are taking the responsibility. Okay, and we can't none of us can have fewer than 0 children. Okay, and the thing is, by taking that responsibility, okay, there's this thing where you just it's just like claws. People throw kids out like claws, okay, and they just tear the world apart, okay, because and then they use them as a shield. They use their kids as a shield, okay, to their behavior, okay, and that's not, the next thing they're like, you're saying my kid shouldn't exist, and pretty soon the kids are looking at you sideways, and it's like, no, I'm trying to protect your children's right to biological parenthood by limiting that right to those who are not already biological parents. Okay, my human rights have already been violated. Okay, I'm 47 years old. Okay, and as long as the population is going up, I do not have the ethical choice of parenthood. Okay, and I can't do that. Okay, it's just not something that I'm capable of bringing myself past. And the whole thing is, the GNO.5 LP. Okay, you look at it, it's a cut and dry case of human rights. Okay, now, as long as the population is going up at the rate that it is, if anyone contests me, okay, because the people that are being added today to the current population, that's all a death margin, okay, that's murder, okay, and if anyone contests me by in just the fraction of time, as fast as the population is going up right now, is in the time it takes them to open up their flapper to contest me, I find I have the ethical right to kill them. Okay, now that might sound, okay, that's not civil human depopulation. Exactly. Okay, this is a cut and dried human rights case. Okay, it's common practice, and it has been for a long time, people who violate the human rights of others to be fined, jailed, or shot dead. Okay, now this is ignored because it's very difficult. Okay, like I said, parents use their kids as a human shield to their behavior. Okay, well, it's always this forgiving thing, because you have to. Okay, you have to say, okay, this person exists, they have human rights. Okay, but the whole thing is, just because the human rights violation is perpetrated by the creation of a human with rights, does not by any stretch of the imagination make it not a violation of someone's human rights. Okay, there's just you see what I'm saying, okay? I mean, it's bad. And the thing is, there's this problem that I've found also, and this is significant, okay? This was a major breakthrough for me. It's like, for some reason, in people's heads, there's this disconnect where, the solution to global human overpopulation locally is to breed to excess. Okay, now you say that phrase, the solution to global human overpopulation is to breed to excess. That doesn't make sense. But for some reason it does locally. Okay? Well, the thing that people got to do, they just got to switch this thing in their head. It's local everywhere. Okay? It's local everywhere on the planet to someone. Okay? And the thing is, we're so far over sustainable carrying capacity. Okay, we're breeding into death. Okay, now, civil human depopulation. Okay, the thing is mentalities that are like, win-lose. Okay, your games, the sporting events, all this stuff it's people are so geared in their heads to win-lose that they can't even see a sensible idea when they hear one. Okay, which I equate to civil human depopulation, because at this point there's you can form sides right now, but that is going to deteriorate so fast, because the thing is, it's not going to end. Okay, if it goes into something non-civil human depopulation, it's gonna be a real mess, and it's just gonna it's just gonna be like chewing on ourselves, trying to maintain, people will try to maintain the species, which is causing the extinction of 500 species a day at this point. And I know this, okay, because the thing is, people have lost their connection with the with the Earth's living systems. We're like floating, okay, on this artificial prosperity. There's no real connection unless you make it, okay. But the thing is, these sides are going to deteriorate quickly. It's going to be bad. Okay, so like I was saying, Earth Synergetics it starts with that. Okay, it's synergies. It's non-speciest. Okay. Now, Earth Synergetics also is very, very tailored. Okay. Now, the tree saucers are designed for people 5'10" and under. Okay, it's a specialized thing. Well, humans are specialized. There's wheelchairs for disabled people. There's like we engineer everything, every product made. Okay. Most notably vehicles for the tallest people on the planet. Well, we can't do that anymore. Okay, I mean, these tall people, they walk around like they're better than everybody else, and they don't realize that, hey, you're costing us, because we're engineering to them, it's costing us just this ungodly freaking amount of fuel and resources. Okay. The same thing with people's weight, okay? But, we try to accommodate people, okay? But we end up forgetting about, the average guy. Like me, I'm not that tall. I'm very average. I'm actually a little bit short. I could be considered short. Okay, I was 5'7", and as I've been aging now, I'm down to 5'6". Okay, I'm a short guy. Okay, now 5'10", okay, that's a majority of the you know, you know, that's most of the people on the planet are under 5'10". I mean, a huge number of people, and that's our human resource, you know. And tall people get paid more than normal sized people. They just do. I don't know why, because they're making the decisions. Okay, it's like that. There's some kind of thing like that. Okay. Well, the thing is, you know, normal people are that's our human resource. Okay, and you know, there's it's the working guy. You know, that's the guy that takes orders. You know, that does what needs to be done. You know, and the whole thing is, there's so much stuff that's been produced for very tall people. Okay, that can be maintained. I mean, everything has everything. Okay, so that can be maintained. Okay, these tall people are just gonna have to just like puzzle piece stuff together and do maintenance. Okay, because I mean, and I'm not taking over the world. Okay, so that's not gonna happen. Exactly. Okay, but that's where I'm coming from. Okay, I cannot engineer to, you know, the tallest freaking 10% of the population. Okay, now Tom Spheres, okay, can accommodate taller people than my tree saucers. Okay, so there's, you know, I'm not saying, you know, that this is an excluded thing, an exclusion thing. It's just a practicality thing. Okay, and it's a human rights thing. Okay, and I'm not picking on tall people. Okay, but I'm just saying. Okay, it's just it's not personal. This is practicality. Okay. You know, like I said, my human rights have been violated because nobody's freaking, you know, put this together. And, you know, I had to leave Vehement. But I took the Vehement name, okay? And no one's going to take it from me. Because the Vehement GNO.5, the modified version, is more voluntary, much more voluntary in all aspects, okay? It's like putting the V back in Vehement. Was taking the GNO.5 on it, okay? And you know, Les might call me a thief, but I do see Les's point. I do, you know. But the whole thing is, how do you get it under control? You know, I wrote that thing 3 years ago, Les, okay? And then you not seeing that that's almost like a negligence issue that is nailing you with the deaths of millions of people. Okay, and you know, you might say that it's good, but you don't create them in the first place. You know the whole ball of wax. I learned a lot from Les. Okay, and I do see his point, and I do actually understand him. Okay, it's not like I'm contesting him at all. Okay, all I'm saying is practicalities. Okay, Earth Synergetics is about balance, synergy, practicalities. If you're going to be a non-speciest, you got to, you know, the right not to breed is just as much a human right as the right to breed. But the thing is, people have to realize that we cannot continue to breed to excess. Okay, because it is a violation of human rights. It's taking it's destroying the human species. And I do see some promise in the human species, and maybe that's why I go through all this stuff. You know, from one way I look at it is like, geez, you know, just we're wiping ourselves out. You might as well just, you know, freaking let it go. But at the same time, it's like there is some promise. This is worth an attempt. Now, I'm not funded. Okay, I struggle. Every single day, I work. I starve for this. Okay, I'm trying to do this all by myself because I don't have the support, and I'm trying to start an alternative culture that is based on refining our mechanisms. I mean, we have things that are engineered to fail. Okay, why? Because people gotta feed their kids. You see what I mean? The money's got to keep going, because nobody can do without food. But you get stuff that doesn't break, and everybody has what they need, and then the whole freaking thing comes to a grinding halt. Well, Earth Synergetics is about building things that last and taking current technology. Okay, that's not to say it can't be upgraded. There's room for modular. Okay, or for upgrades. Okay. And I plan on that. It's going to be a continued refinement, okay? But the tree saucer design is highly refined at this point. But I need to do the bow first, because I need that quick turnaround. I need something to snap Earth Synergetics off the freaking ground, okay? I don't even have a shop yet, okay? All my stuff's sitting out in the rain, getting water damage and all this shit, and nobody gives a crap. I mean, case in point, I had some high school kids working up here for me, and they just milked it. I paid them really good, for the cost of living in this area. I'd let them lay around before, after. I'd give them breaks, and one of them particularly would get me talking about philosophy. He'd just start talking philosophy, like stuff where there's no resolution, And he thought that was funny, because he'd egg me on in the conversation, and they'd just be standing around, and they thought that was funny. Okay, well, it wasn't, because I got like $18 going out the door. $18 an hour going out the door, 9 times 2. Okay, and then they end up, I don't know this for sure, but somebody comes onto my property, okay, runs bedded deer off my property that I spent 4 years patterning up here, okay, and I follow the tracks. I see all this, okay, I saw it all in the tracks, down to the shop, stole my machinist tool chest. Okay, I don't know who it was, and I can't say this for sure, but I got a pretty, by process of elimination, the suspect are the people that work for me. Okay, the kids. Well, here's the thing. They don't have what they need. Okay, whether or not one of those things they need is respect, they don't have what they need. So why are we allowing people to push us into overshoot with their criminal behavior? And that's what it is. But it has to be forgiven, and that's the hell of the thing about it. It's criminal behavior, but because it's you gotta forgive them. So they think they can just freaking keep going like that, and they're erasing with each subsequent child, they're erasing the human rights of 2 people with each one, okay, to an ethical choice of parenthood. Like I said, it's local everywhere to someone. Okay, Earth Synergetics, Underdog-FLC is for people who have 1 child or less. If you cannot manage yourself, you have absolutely no right to manage the frail strings of ecosystem we have left at this point. Okay, not everyone can live like that. Okay, and for somebody that wants to lift themselves off the existing system, okay, this is where the value of Earth Synergetics, the Earth Synergetics concept comes in. If somebody wants to lift themselves up off the current systems, okay, that's like that's like contributing to those systems to the tune of their own support. Okay, but they're not on them. Okay, now what people choose to do with that void, okay, you have to leave up to them, but at the same time you got to go, don't violate my human rights, because they're gonna, I got suburban conversion project on Pickens Plan. Okay, that's something I started 25 years ago. Okay, turning low energy return on investment housing into suburban earth sheltered greenhouses to reduce supply chain fuel, increase community ties, living food storage, and then turn the housing or the garage of the property into the house. And then you've got a place where you have an employee that's not commuting. Okay, there's a lot of pluses to the suburban conversion project. The only web reference really that I developed was on Pickens Plan. I got a lot of response there, but I don't know how well anyone did with that. I haven't heard anything back. And I got into geodesic, earth berm geodesics, small, similar to time spheres in square footage. I couldn't get that to go. That was going to be like a permacultural healing of agricultural lands, where somebody, it would be like a place for people to live, and then also do permaculture, in a small footprint, sustainable way, and rejuvenate agricultural lands. Well, that didn't go. I saw time spheres, and I was like, that is it, because I was an archer. I have been for a while, and right away I thought, yeah, everything clicked. It was just this vision, and he had a huge impact on my art. Tom Chudley of Free Spirit Spheres, and so I did gift Tom and his company, Free Spirit Spheres Inc., Canadian rights to the floating limb compound. All the elements, even right down to the Underdog-FLC, if they want to, replicate that. Okay, and whether they sit on it and just cover me, for competition, or they implement it. I think, import laws to protect me in this country a little bit. Okay, but they can use that capital to further the cause, because I see it as my cause too. I believe in Tom's dream. He wants to start a sphere community on hydro, on the British Columbia coast. Okay, and I think too, this is sustainability with in his mind too. It's kind of like all the same dream, and then you kind of realize that we're on the same side, but we have to be able to function independently, because there's distance, and stuff like that. I miss those guys, I really do. But the whole thing is, the dream is alive in me, and I keep going, and I think my interpretation of Tom's art is, it's kind of, it might be a little different than where they started, but the thing is, what him and Rosie did, putting it, in a position where people could access it and kind of live it a little bit. I think that was a good move, but we're kind of stuck in that too, because people don't need to be traveling so far if we can get the, some more pockets, of this style of, because for me, the tree sources, okay, zero carbon woodland housing, but it's intended. I have to define the intent, okay? I have to. There's human rights at stake. There's human needs at stake. It's very need-based, stuff. And that's what I do. I do need-based technical art, okay? I'm just doing the best I can to try to express, you know, and I hope Tom sees that, you know, that really did mean something to me, and it anyways, life goes on, and I'm still trying, and I am still struggling. The Underdog FLC hopefully coming soon. Thanks all. Bye.